What has happened? Where have they gone? I'm so confused. I'm really not. I don't understand why people are making such a big deal of this. Hey Spuds, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Your first video, I don't know, but welcome either way. I really appreciate you clicking on it and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Today we're talking about Harry Styles. We're talking about Harry Styles in a dress, looking wonderful, and just why some people have felt the need to complain about it. So Harry Styles recently appeared on the cover of Vogue US wearing a dress, and it's been met with a lot of responses. It's caused a stir, but a lot of those responses have been positive, which is great. People have been saying stuff such as, lol, anyone mad about Harry Styles in a dress is just mad that he can pull it off better than they can. Conservatives want to believe Harry Styles in a dress is some complicated attack on masculinity, rather than the much simpler truth that it's just hot. And imagine waking up mad about Harry Styles' Vogue shoot, miserable person. And that is just a very small selection of the great responses out there. But of course there are some other people out there who have decided it's their place to say something negative, and oh my gosh, the ridiculousness of the level of drama. It's just hilarious. Some people are just being so dramatic about this, but really mostly ridiculous. Honestly, you'd think that every single man was now going to be forced to wear a ball gown everywhere. Some more well-known people who spoke out negatively towards Harry Styles doing this was Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. So Ben Shapiro tweeted, "This is perfectly obvious. Anyone who pretends that it is not a referendum on masculinity for men to don floofy dresses is treating you as a full-on idiot." He then went on to say, "Masculinity and femininity exist. Outward indicators of masculinity and femininity exist in nearly every human culture. Boys are taught to be more masculine in virtually every human culture because the role of men is not always the same as the role of women." He also went on to say, "The left knows this, of course. The point of Styles doing this photo shoot is to feminize masculinity. Otherwise, why would it be headline worthy for Styles to don a dress?" I mean, wow. I mean, part of the reason why it's headline worthy is because people like Ben Shapiro still have really weird things like this to say about it. I like how he brings the left in and it's like to feminize masculinity. No. And then Candace Owens had something very wonderful to say, which was, "There is no society that can survive without strong men. The East knows this. In the West, the steady feminization of our men at the same time that Marxism is being taught to our children is not a coincidence. It is an outright attack. Bring back manly men. Bring back manly men." Really? It just sounds like a conspiracy theory. You're really making this much of a fuss over what somebody else is wearing.
"Candace, I'm a guy. Why can't I just wear a dress?" Because you can't, okay? You can't. "But I just want to express myself in little girl clothing." You can't. You're not allowed to.
My big confusion over this whole thing is why it's such a big deal and why he's received negative responses from people like Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. It doesn't make sense. What they're saying doesn't make sense. And it's just rude, to be honest. But I'm not just talking about the negative comments, also the positive ones, which are great to see. But I think it would be really nice to get to a point where the shape of material that somebody is wearing does not cause a stir. Like, they're just clothes. Like, people can wear what they want to wear. But on the other hand, I do also get it. It's representation and it's groundbreaking because Harry Styles is the first ever solo male cover of US Vogue. So obviously it's going to cause some kind of discussion and a little bit of a stir. But, you know, also I'm just going to come back in and say men wearing dresses and skirts and clothing that is stereotypically seen as more feminine is nothing new. Just take a look back in history and across various different cultures, there are so many examples of men wearing things that now and in certain cultures we would consider being feminine and we would categorize as like women's clothing or feminine clothing. And even looking at colors, pink used to be considered a boy's color. It used to be considered a masculine color. But now some people act like if boys came into contact with anything remotely pink, they might spontaneously combust. What I'm getting at here is that we as a society in this era have decided that blue and suits are masculine and dresses and pink are feminine. But it's not always been that way, and even in some cultures now, it is not that way. There is no rule to any of this other than societal pressure and expectations. And as we can see, these flip-flop throughout time and also differ across cultures. Who knows, maybe, just maybe, in a couple hundred years, it'll be groundbreaking for a woman to appear on a magazine cover wearing a dress. But for now, what causes a stir is a man doing so. And right now, that man is Harry Styles, but he wasn't the first man to do this. He was just the first man to end up on the cover of such a prominent magazine, therefore causing more of a stir because it got a lot of attention. But just look at Jaden Smith. He wore skirts and dresses in Vogue career back in 2016. So I really don't understand the big bad fuss that people are making of this. Let people express themselves how they want to express and wear what they want to wear. Other people's expression and clothing choices are no threat to anybody else. I personally love to see people pushing boundaries of what society expects people to do based on their gender. Like, I like to see those expectations being broken down and challenged. For now, it causes a stir, it causes more of a discussion, but it would be great to get to a point where it's just something that happens. But like I said, right now there is a lot of discussion on it, and we're going to have a little watch together of a particular interview that happened on Good Morning Britain. Yes, I'm sorry, there's going to be a bit of Piers Morgan in this. He's also not the worst person in this interview.
I think a lot of women will look at Harry Styles in that photo shoot and think, what on earth is he doing? I don't want my husband suddenly popping on the old, the old Versace dinner dress or whatever for dinner. I mean, where does this go?
Oh dear, whatever will I do? Harry Styles wore a dress on a magazine and now my husband is going to wear a ball gown everywhere. Oh dear. Firstly, it's not contagious. And secondly, even if it did give a man the confidence to wear something he's always wanted to wear, isn't that a good thing? Wouldn't you want the person you love to be able to express themselves how they want to and how they feel comfortable? I don't see why that's a bad thing.
You can perfectly see that Harry Styles is just wearing that dress to cause a sensation, which of course he has. Perfectly nice looking, attractive, straight guy, looking...
Just wearing it to cause a stir. Really. Because we all know that Harry Styles is somebody who has never ever worn or gone near something that we could consider feminine, ever before. Nope. Exhibit A of Harry Styles not wearing anything feminine. Exhibit B. Exhibit C. Clearly just doing it for attention then. Not something he does regularly at all. I'm also pretty sure he's not defined his sexuality, that he's not publicly labelled it, so I think it's a bit rude to make assumptions on that.
Perfectly okay, just a bit weird in a dress.
Ugh, and you're just a bit rude.
I think the thing is that the whole sort of vibe and the aesthetic of fashion and showbiz generally has got a heavily sort of metrosexual, and partly because of the sort of great dominance of gay views and gay kind of aesthetic within fashion.
I personally would say that this is a lot more down to openness of environment and freedom of expression within the environment that you are part of. Certain industries are more open to people expressing and behaving in ways that goes against what would stereotypically be expected of them. And I think show business is one of those industries where people can be more open with their expression. Within this industry, Harry Styles is far from the first man or woman to break gender norms. Look at people like David Bowie and Elton John and Cara Delevingne. It's not a big deal. It's also definitely not a new thing.
And so, of course, when you see all the half showbiz and fashion and modelling and everything, very much take on that vibe. Ordinary manly men of the old
It's not a
school.
gay thing, is it? I'm
not sure where this conversation is
I don't think it has anything to do
going.
with sexuality. I mean, Harry Styles is not saying I'm trying to be gay or a gay man's forced me to do this. Harry Styles
Not
is
every man who puts a dress on is gay.
Well, as Rain said, he's pushing the boundaries of fashion.
Thank you. Why am I agreeing with Piers? Can we stop equating expression to anything other than expression? Expression does not dictate your sexuality or your gender.
And in a way, he's got what he wanted. He's got us all talking about it. I just wonder if all the women saying that they think he looks great, how they would feel if the man they were with, if they were with a man, their husband or whatever, or boyfriend, suddenly turned up in a dress to take them out for dinner. That's the question.
But why are we extrapolating from one fashion shoot to suddenly the collapse of civilization?
Thank you. Exactly. Okay, I agreed with Piers for like 5 seconds. Why are we extrapolating this out? Why is that a question? One person has done this now. Why are we asking these strange questions?
It's literally Harry Styles, who is a pop star.
If a bloke turned up to take you on a date in a dress, would you go out with him?
Why not?
Would you?
Why what?
I'm going to test this theory.
I may, Piers. I think one of the other great things that you do, Piers, is you're really great at allowing people to stay out of each other's businesses and personal life. I think you really do a great job articulating that people should have some sense of autonomy. And what I see here is that you're inserting yourself into Susanna's love life potential, and you're trying to dictate how she may or may not feel. Yeah. But one of the great things is that...
Well, she is my TV wife.
He thinks he's entitled to do that.
I do see these men as love rivals in a way.
Well said from Rain. Asking hypotheticals like that to try and prove some non-point is just really strange. And it never works. It never works.
Because I am technically married to her. So, in a television sense. Look, it's an interesting debate. I don't know where this goes. If suddenly the world's men all start coming out in dresses, trust me, there's going to be a lot of women going, ooh, what is happening? Put your suit back on, son.
Rude. Why a suit? Like, come on. Do you know what? The men that are then wearing those dresses deserve better than people who are going to judge them like that and try and tell them what they should actually be wearing instead. You wear what you want to wear.
Sally?
Many of us would love to see a return, not just to everybody being James Bond macho, but for those people to feel empowered and not feeling as though they're some sort of second-class citizens. I'm not calling for a return to the James Bond of sort of pats on the bottom and...
Oh, Sally. Oh, Sally. Sally seems a little bit obsessed with James Bond. Why can't everybody return to the macho James... Why? Why are we asking for this? What is this fascination with James Bond?
Man talk and all that sort of patronising James Bond. But I think many of us love the thought of a man who can sort of handle himself. I mean, I really fell for my husband when we were actually, before we were married, on a little trip to Egypt on a boat. I had to fly home early, and he managed to get my passport back to me by getting a taxi to go and signal at that boat on the Nile.
Where is this going?
Get the passport off them, have it flown back to where I was.
Well, that is impressive, but of course that has nothing to do, because he could have done that wearing a dress. So that was something to do with this debate.
I'm agreeing with Piers for a second time today. Okay, that was such a random story to bring up. There's no more of the video, by the way, you'll be glad to know. It had nothing to do with expression or clothing. It seemingly was like her measure of a manly man is somebody who is competent? Who helps her? I don't know. But your competency and your ability to get a passport to somebody is not affected by what you're wearing. So why she thought that was a relevant story, I have no idea. But yeah, that was that interview, and Sally is definitely not alone in her views, and she is entitled to have those opinions. Everybody else is entitled to call her out on the opinions, but she's entitled to have them. But I personally just think people need to stop being so highly strung over other people's self-expression. How does it affect your life? The answer is it doesn't. It shouldn't be seen as a big deal that somebody like Harry Styles wore a dress on a magazine cover, and it certainly shouldn't be seen as a negative thing, and it certainly should never be extrapolated into suddenly a threat on masculinity. Since all of this is a big discussion over what one person decided to wear, we should only be listening to one person, and that person is Harry Styles. And he responded in the simple but powerful way of posting a photo of himself on his Instagram where he's wearing something that would typically be considered more frilly and feminine. He's eating a banana with the caption, "Bring back manly men." Beautiful. I love it. It's so great. Anyway, my personal conclusion from all of this: stereotypes and expectations of expression are malleable over time. They differ across cultures, and the people who are getting upset over what other people wear and how other people are expressing themselves are the true insecure ones, and they just need to get over it and let other people be and express themselves how they want to. That's it. That's all I have to say on this. I hope you enjoyed this little kind of semi-rant conversation type video. Do let me know down in the comments below what you think. And yeah, think about giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to, but as always, no pressure. And also, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.